I'm living in a moral never-never land with this patient.
The most shocking part of Melfi's story isn't that she quit Tony. It's that she ever stayed.
Nowadays, everybody's got to go to shrinks.
The Sopranos therapy scenes were always its most daring conceit. A mob boss lying on the couch while the audience eavesdrops on his subconscious.
I don't think I can help you. The new big thing these days is called psychodynamic therapy.
Yet when Dr. Jennifer Melfi abruptly terminates Tony's treatment near the end, viewers split into two camps. Some saw it as rushed, an unconvincing bow to a research paper and a smug dinner party.
I know him. He'll just keep coming back.
Others argued it was inevitable. The natural culmination of 7 years of compromised ethics, professional futility, and quiet complicity. The truth, as usual with The Sopranos, lies somewhere between. At face value, the trigger is flimsy. A psychologist of Melfi's intelligence should hardly be swayed by one academic study, particularly a controversial one suggesting therapy only makes sociopaths better at manipulation. Research of that kind, especially when based on convicted criminals, is not gospel. It is suggestive at best, deeply flawed at worst.
It's good to be in something from the ground floor.
And Melfi, of all people, should know that one article doesn't invalidate years of experience with a patient who has, at times, shown genuine vulnerability.
We've been seeing his therapist together.
After all, Tony had brought his wife Carmela into sessions, referred his daughter to therapy on Melfi's recommendation,
since we're not in therapy no more and I'm a bachelor again,
and even abandoned therapy voluntarily more than once. These are hardly the moves of a man cynically gaming the system. But to dismiss her decision as forced is to ignore the mountain of evidence pointing to its necessity.
You've been coming here for 3 years, Tony. You still pass out on a regular basis.
Tony was not improving. If anything, he was unraveling, spiraling into paranoia, violence, and nihilism. Therapy was not saving him, nor was it reforming him.
I had a semester and a half of college.
At best, it gave him a vocabulary to rationalize his appetites. At worst, it offered him a laboratory to refine them. Whether consciously or not, Tony was indeed using therapy to become a better mobster, to better understand his anger, manage appearances, and sharpen the justifications that kept his empire running. This is where Melfi herself comes under fire. For all her professional veneer, she was hardly the beacon of clinical excellence. Her therapeutic style was often passive, offering little in the way of coping strategies, actionable tools, or meaningful intervention.
Is the Xanax helping?
Fine, no more attacks.
She listened, nodded, reframed, but rarely equipped Tony with anything beyond medication and occasional perspective.
Those goddamn ducks.
One could argue this is simply the psychodynamic model at work. Long on analysis, short on worksheets. But in practice, Melfi too often looked like a voyeur in her own office, fascinated by the novelty of her patient rather than committed to his growth.
He hasn't been in the paper much lately.
You miss that, don't you?
Her fascination was in fact the open secret of the entire series. She admitted as much to her own therapist, Elliot Kupferberg, who repeatedly needled her about the thrill of treating a mob boss. Tony's life was Shakespearean, dangerous, and endlessly entertaining, an irresistible contrast to her parade of suburban malcontents. She basked in proximity to violence without fully stepping into it, a guilty pleasure wrapped in clinical authority.
He offered to escort me to my car.
Worse still, after her rape, she found comfort in Tony's implicit protection. She never summoned him to retaliate, but she indulged in the fantasy of having that button to press. It kept him close when she otherwise might have referred him elsewhere. If Melfi was compromised, Tony knew it.
Sweet sounding, like a mandolin.
From the earliest episodes, he pushed boundaries like a seasoned con man. Wet dreams about her, attempted kisses, stolen cars returned as unwanted gifts, cash thrown in rage when she enforced rules.
I guess I live a sheltered existence.
After her rape, he read her shaken body language like a hawk, sensing her desperation to keep him and exploiting it with token gestures of progress. Whether or not he intended it as manipulation is almost beside the point. He played her exactly as he played everyone else, offering crumbs of contrition to forestall rejection.
As a colleague, Jen, I suggest you drop the patient.
Her colleagues were not wrong to recognize the dynamic. For years, Elliot and Richard LaPena voiced suspicions that Melfi was clinging to Tony for her own gratification, professional pride, and perhaps even sexual attraction.
Thank you, Elliot.
She bristled every time, precisely because the accusation rang true.
The study was by Yoshelson and Tamino.
That humiliating dinner scene late in the series did not reveal anything she hadn't already known. It simply stripped her of plausible deniability. So was the final rupture rushed? Perhaps narratively. It comes in the last stretch of the final season, leaving little time to explore its fallout. But within the logic of the characters, it was overdue.
We've discussed this, Elliot.
Melfi had considered cutting Tony loose at least twice before. After season 1 and again before her assault.
I'm living in a moral never-never land with this patient.
Each time she rationalized keeping him. Each time, she told herself some mixture of ego, thrill, and misplaced optimism justified continuing. By the time of her exit, she had been recycling these excuses for nearly a decade. The study was not the cause of her decision. It was the catalyst that stripped her of excuses. It is tempting to insist Tony wasn't manipulating her, that he genuinely wanted help but lacked the will to change his lifestyle. Indeed, he showed flashes of remorse, especially regarding animals, children, or symbols of innocence. The ducks, the racehorse, the cat haunting his house.
He never comes home. They know, but they don't know.
But his compassion rarely extended beyond those safe proxies. Toward adults, even his closest friends and family, he remained the black hole of appetites he had always been.
Forget about the way that Tony Soprano makes his way in the world. That's just to feed his children.
Therapy did not make him better. It made him more articulate in his self-justifications, nothing more. The decision was not rushed then, but sudden. Life often is. A camel's back breaks not under the first straw, but the last.
I know him. He'll just keep coming back.
After years of stalled progress, professional compromise, and personal entanglement, Melfi finally faced what she had long refused to admit. She was no longer helping Tony, and by continuing, she was helping him harm others. In killing her own professional ego, she freed herself from him. What makes her decision satisfying rather than cheap is precisely this moral reckoning.
You know, at first I did find him a little sexy.
Melfi is not the saintly professional some imagined her to be. She is as compromised, as self-interested, and as morally entangled as Carmela Soprano.
Because I won't take blood money.
Both women enabled Tony. Both benefited from his orbit. And both, at different moments, tried to absolve themselves by cutting ties. Melfi's exit is not about one research paper.
Good, now you got something you can wrap me out about in therapy.
It is about facing the uncomfortable truth that therapy, in this case, had become a racket. A mutual performance, serving neither patient nor doctor, but only the illusion that something was being done.
Calm, you said so yourself.
Tony wanted to feel better, not to be better. Melfi wanted to be the doctor who cracked the untreatable mob boss. Both got something out of the arrangement, but neither got what they claimed to want. And in the end, Melfi did what she should have done years earlier. She walked away. Therapy couldn't save Tony, but your click might just save this channel.